I'm breaking everything. Turn off that stupid fan. Oh my God. It's always something. Okay, and I think we're live. All right. Welcome to Nerd Culture Clash. The show
Hello, everybody.
The show where we try to talk about some of the more interesting things going on in the nerd world news today, but usually just end up going off on some random tangent. What the hell? All right. Is this going to be a repeat of last week when that weird thing kept cutting in?
No, I know what this is. That was my phone.
Dude, I still don't know what that was. But I'm your host, Comic Book Bob, and joining me as always is my co-host for NCC, Tom the Immortal Cummings, the ageless one. One of these days, we're gonna have to take a picture of your before and after, like from 20 years ago when we first met, and then now, and it's just yeah, whatever deal that Keanu Reeves made with the devil or whoever, Tom was there as well. So
I negotiated it.
But yeah, so if you guys didn't catch our review of Godzilla yesterday, we went and saw Godzilla, and it was freaking awesome. We're going to talk about a couple of things about that. But I wanted to start off today, and let me actually get my crap together here. And screen share, minimize. Talk about Vampirella. So, Vampirella #1 is being relaunched at Dynamite Comics. And it's being written by Christopher Priests. Now, if you don't know who Christopher Priests is, I don't know why you're watching a show called Nerd Culture Clash, but Christopher Priests is a comic book writer who's been in the industry for a very long time. He's most known today for the storyline that he did in Black Panther, which was largely what they mined for the Black Panther movie. That run on Black Panther was very iconic. But Christopher Priest is also very outspoken as far as his opinions on the comic book industry today, and him jumping onto this title was actually a really big deal. In fact, such a big deal that according to Dynamite, they have over 60,000 copies pre-ordered.
Wow.
60,000 copies pre-ordered for what's basically an indie book.
Yeah.
And that's just how many have been pre-ordered. That's not even how many this thing's going to end up selling. So, and if that number holds, this would make Vampirella the most successful version of this comic launched in pretty much the last 20 years. So that's a really interesting situation, especially if you've been keeping up on some things, because Christopher Priest has had some very unkind things to say about the comic book industry as far as the mainstream as a whole. And he's very much pushing back against the narrative that a lot of people is in mainstream comics have been pushing concerning social identity politics, politics in general, things like that. But I mean, if this is any indication, I mean, the dude hit a nerve, because 60,000, just to put this into context, 60,000. Let me look up Comic-Con here. Comic-Con here. 60,000 issues would put it right in the thick of the best-selling comics that are being sold today. So I think the March numbers are the newest ones that are available. Yeah, so 60,000 would actually put it almost in the top 10.
Wow.
That's
the pre-orders.
That's the pre-orders from a book that isn't coming from Marvel or DC. Because you look at Marvel and DC, usually the only books that crack the top 20 besides Marvel and DC would be an Image book, like Walking Dead or something like that.
Yeah.
But this thing is a Dynamite title, and if you go down, you would be hard pressed to find a Dynamite title in even the top 100.
Yeah.
Normally. Like I'm looking through, I'm scrolling through here right now, and
well, Dynamite is Vampirella, Red Sonja.
Yep.
Isn't it? Don't they also do the Martian Chronicles?
Yes,
Or
I
not the
think.
Martian, or John Carter of Mars. That
Yeah,
one.
John Cutter of Mars, and I think they also do the Bionic Man.
Okay.
I think that's right here. Like this is like Red Sonja #2.
13,000.
13,000. This is huge. Now, this also, incidentally, comes on the back of the announcement that Billy Tucci of She fame, like I don't know if you've ever read the comic book She,
Yeah.
but he's actually relaunching that too. He's actually he has a YouTube channel. He's I follow him on Twitter. He's doing a really cool crowdfunded series on his YouTube channel. He had Brian Pulido actually got the rights to Lady Death back, and he was relaunching that. He's got a new brand he's doing called Coffin Comics. A lot of these creators are coming out and they're going into this independent stuff and like the crowdfunded stuff. And some of the other smaller companies like Dynamite took a look at this and said, "Hey, let's get in on this." These guys are generating a lot of noise. Like Ethan Van Sciver's book, Cyberfrog, made almost $800,000 crowdfunded. I mean, and incidentally, he just did a cover. Let me see here. He's got a deal with Dynamite to do covers with crossover covers with his Cyberfrog character. He just did a Vampirella thing. So check this out here. And we'll see if I can get a good picture. Yeah, see? And they actually told him, yeah, if you want to, I think the deal with them is that they're going to split however much money this thing makes. But this thing launched like 3 days ago, and it's already at $30,000.
Wow.
It's already got, it's already making a ton of money. And this is just a variant cover that he's doing for them. And this is like one of several that he's going to do. This is, and this is for, this isn't even for if he did like for Vampirella #1, this is for Vampirella versus Reanimator. Which
okay. Yeah, I saw that was coming out.
Yeah, this is a variant cover he's doing for that. And this is also going to be going on the shelves for Dynamite. So they're going to be announcing this soon. So you got to wonder if that's going to, if that, the fact that Dynamite is reaching out to some of these more controversial creators, if that's generating some of this interest. Because like I said, I mean, 60,000 just for pre-orders. This could at very end, if this holds, this could end up being 100,000 issue book, which for an indie company like Dynamite, that's massive. And the CEO for Dynamite even says, he said that this could drive the publisher for the rest of the year and beyond. Like he's looking at this going, this is huge. And he says July is a huge month for us this year and lays the foundation for a strong rest of the year going into 2020. For the anniversary, we went all out with Vampirella offerings to spoil fans on the characters, both new and old. To have Christopher Priests helming the new ongoing series as a centerpiece is a dream come true. He's more than welcome to stay on the title for as long as he likes. And that's a big deal, too, because Christopher Priest, one of the things that he got decried a little bit for is, for quite a while after his after that historic, like I said, that big run on Black Panther, he did a few things and then he kind of just disappeared, and he would pop up every once in a while on something like an indie book or something like that, but he never did any more mainstream stuff. Like he didn't really touch any more mainstream stuff. And finally, about 3 or 4 years ago, they asked him, "Hey, what's the deal, man? We keep, we're always offering you stuff and you keep saying no." And he said, "Because you keep offering me Black characters.
Yeah.
You keep offering me," and he's like, and they're like, "Okay, well, so what's wrong with that?" And he said, "Look, when I became a comic book writer, I was a writer who was Black. but I worked on books like Spider-Man and Captain America and the Avengers. Suddenly, after this run on Black Panther, I'm a black writer. Like I can only do black characters. And he said, I don't want to do that. And like he talked about how he just did he wrote a novel about a female Irish female firefighter. You know, he's like, I can do other stuff. He's like, and he said, and the thing is it comes from a place of wanting to do good.
Yeah.
But you're
pigeonholed in a certain place, and yeah, you got to stay there now.
Yeah, it's like it's that whole stay in your lane thing, you know. And he's like, no, that's BS. He's like, I'm a writer. I'm a writer who's a black man, but I'm not a black writer. You know, that's you're putting people into boxes that you don't have the right to do. And immediately after that, he got a pretty long run actually on Deathstroke, which was a pretty good series actually, by the way, that he did. And now he's over here, he's doing Vampirella, and he said some controversial things. Like they actually take a couple in this article from Bleeding Cool, which I'm not a big fan of Bleeding Cool. They take a little bit of a pot shot at him because of a comment that he made that they're kind of taking it out of context. Yeah, right here. So Dynamite will use this success to invest in the property. Perhaps they will produce scratch and sniff covers so that fans can smell the intoxicating scent of a woman Priest was raving about in a Newsarama interview last week. And then this Newsarama interview is where he kind of puts the dude in his place. As far as why she's, you know, she's in this classic look that she's got. He, like, you know, and but this is kind of like a little bit of a veiled shot at him. He's talking about, like, you know, he's talking about the things that you can't portray with a comic book. And he's like, one of the things he said was you can't portray the smell of a woman, you know, like, and he's talking about, you know, like the classic, you know, like, you know, romanticized idea, you know, like when you're with a beautiful woman, she's got a, you know, she usually smells good, you know. And they're just kind of taking a little bit of a pot shot at him like this. But, and then he kind of puts the guy in his place. Like I said, that's a good interview to read, actually, because he really does kind of put that guy in his place for that. Because the guy was trying to pigeonhole him, and he just kind of slams the door on him.
Cool.
But yeah, I saw this, and I was like, I knew that the book was going to do well, considering that Dynamite is kind of taking a stance of, you look, all this BS political crap that's going on, we don't want anything to do with it. We're going to do comics for everybody. You know, we're not going to close the door on anybody. We're not going to make demands on people. We're going to reach out to the fans and try to give the fans what they want. And this looks like it's working, because that's a big deal for an indie book.
Yeah, for an indie book, yeah, that's awesome.
Because most indie books, like I said, like 15,000, 20,000 copies are like, holy crap. You know, because most indie books are like right around the 4,000 or 5,000 range. And then this thing drops, you know, 60K in pre-orders alone. That's a big deal. So I wish all the best to Dynamite, all the best to Christopher Priest. I hope the book's awesome. I know Billy Tucci's doing some like variant covers for it, which is awesome, because Billy Tucci is an awesome dude. By the way, check out his. I think it's he got some of them are on Kickstarter and some of them are on Indiegogo. Just look up Billy Tucci, and you'll see all the different projects he's got going. And when his book, The Return of the Warrior, comes out, definitely check that out, because She was one of the books that he did back in the day. I really loved that book.
Yeah, I want to say I have the whole first run of that. I think.
I used to have it, dude. I can't. That's one of those books that I think was in that bunch of stuff that ended up getting destroyed.
Yeah,
and which
that's very unfortunate.
Oh God, man, I could kick myself for that. Well, I could kick my dad for that.
Yeah.
But that's what happens, man. But no, I'm definitely going to pick up that new book that he's doing for it, because it looks awesome. And like I said, Billy Tucci is just a good dude. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, definitely check it out. He's got some really cool guests that he brings on there. And again, he's like me, man. He's one of those guys like, look, I'm just trying to be cool with everybody. And Billy's he's a really, really good guy. So, but moving on from that to more comic book news, something a little more, it's unfortunate if you're thinking about it from the past, but it's kind of prophetic when you think about it from recent years, because recent years it's been bad. And that is DC is heavily rumored to be closing down the Vertigo line. Now, if you're like me, back in the 90s, in the early 90s, Vertigo was the shit, man.
Yeah.
Dude, Vertigo was so freaking good. You had
all the cool titles, all the cutting new stuff, the
Sandman, Hellblazer, House of Secrets, Books of Magic, Swamp Thing, Doom Patrol, which the series right now, if you like if you like the Doom Patrol series on DC's streaming service, go back and check out the books, the Vertigo books, because that's where they got most of this stuff from. And this was basically DC's, the equivalent of DC now has this thing called the Black Label, which is but this was DC's version of that back in the day, and they had some of the best creators working on these books. They had like Neil Gaiman and Alan Moore, and and then like and after that first initial set of books, like Animal Man and Hellblazer, Sandman, they got more stuff like Preacher and 100 Bullets and Why the Last Man, and it just kept going and going and going. The original, if you're a fan of that TV show Lucifer, the book that it's based off of, that was actually a Vertigo title.
Mm-hmm.
And and that's also where you got stuff like Watchmen. Like Watchmen was re-released, I think, through Vertigo. Yeah, it says it right here. History of Violence, if you like that movie, that was actually originally a graphic novel from there. And then DC, it just kind of fell off because all like I said, Warren Ellis, Garth Ennis, Neil Gaiman, they all started going off and doing other things. Partially because DC just didn't want to pay them anymore, because they just got bigger and bigger. They just got so big. And then in 2018, recently, it relaunched. And it relaunched under a lot of controversy. Because they were bringing in people like this dude, Eric Esquivel, him, Richard Pace, Zoe Quinn. Mirka Andolfo is actually a really good artist. You may not have liked the book Hexwise, but the art that she's doing for her other stuff that she's done, including her own series, Unnatural, is actually really good. So, but like Zoe Quinn, who's a very controversial person, Robbie Rodriguez is the dude who sent pictures of his own asshole to people. It's like,
any particular reason why, or just
he didn't like them. He didn't like what they were saying, so he sent pictures of his, like, he literally is sending pictures of his brown eye to people. And this is a dude that's working for DC. Now, let me get this very clear. I'm not one of those people that calls for people to lose their job. But if I was DC, I'd be like, hey, dude, knock it off.
Pushing it.
Yeah, it's like you're pushing the idea of an independent contractor. So, but then Zoe Quinn, who's very, very controversial. She's one of the people she's actually I think she's a colorist. She was actually pretty good, but again, ultra political, very, very caustic individual. But this dude takes the cake. This guy turns out was basically sexual harasser, and he got busted for sexual. He basically got busted for a bunch of sexual imposition and things like that, and physical abuse. I mean, you name it. This dude turned out to be friggin' Satan. So that, coupled with these books that just didn't sell very well. Very few people were interested in these books. Okay, and we're not talking like back in the day when like Vertigo first launched. The books at Vertigo, when they first launched, you know, they were a niche audience, but they found a much you know, you're talking about like I said, you're talking about Warren Ellis, Garth Ennis, Neil Gaiman. These are huge names. Neil Gaiman, especially. Like Neil Gaiman is like, I'd be pressed to think of something that Neil Gaiman has done that I didn't like.
I can't think of anything.
I literally can't think of a single thing. And the current crop, they just don't measure up. I mean, I'm sorry. Not everybody can be Michael Jordan, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, not everybody can be Michael Jordan, but you should still be able to put together a good team.
Yes. And these guys, it seemed like they spent more time talking crap. Do we have anybody in chat, by the way, Tom?
Nope.
Chat. Okay, just double checking.
And well, nobody's checked in yet, and so yeah.
Yeah.
Out there, say hi.
Yeah. But yeah, if you spend more time on Twitter talking crap to potential customers than putting in time on your book, and your book is just filled with a bunch of divisive stuff that is you're automatically whittling your possible audience down to almost nothing, you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot. And no surprise, once some of this scandal hit, even what little bit of decent sells these books were doing, which, let's be honest, if you're selling, you know, if you're working for DC and you're selling 20,000 copies, you're not doing real well. But unfortunately, they started canceling these books. Obviously, though, this one, Border Town, was canceled immediately after this whole thing came out. Second Coming, which was canceled before it even debuted because of serious religious backlash. Hex Wives got canceled after like 6 issues. American Carnage canceled. Goddess Mode, which are all on the chopping block. And books that were scheduled to come out are, from what we're understanding, they've basically been canceled, which doesn't really surprise me, because with all the changes that are happening at another thing that I think, like, this is another thing that I think affected this, the changes at Warner Brothers, where all the people who were in charge and then the relationship that was originally set there, that's been completely overhauled. And so you got these new people coming in going, hey, cool, let's what properties do we got? What's going on here? And then they see this and they're like, the hell is this? We can't do anything with this.
Mm-hmm.
So that shakeup, I think, is part of the reason why a lot of these books just basically got axed, even with low sales. They have a tendency to try to push these books to continue pushing them, even though they shouldn't, because if you're not making any money off it, you're not making any money off of it, you know.
Yeah.
But I think the shakeup at Warner Brothers and DC's upper echelon, they basically said, all right, look, we're done with this. We're not making any money off of this. They don't, because the people at Warner Bros., they have no nostalgia.
No,
like the comic book people do. They look at something like, okay, this is the bottom line on this, and it's dead. So what's more than likely going to happen is the brand is going to I get the feeling they're going to shelf the brand for a while. And the few of these books that they think they can do something with, they'll probably push them under the Black Label. The new version of Vertigo, kind of, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
The whole Black Label thing to me is just like, whatever, man.
Well, that's one thing I've never understood. I mean, sometimes, you'll have a product, a division, or whatever company, and something will go horribly wrong. You're like, okay, we're going to do the same thing, but under a different title, so we don't have to live with that stigma.
Yeah.
But there's also well, we got all of this stuff over here. So let's just make another one to compete with itself.
Yeah. And
And
it's, well, not only that, but the whole thing with like, we'll just relaunch, over here and we don't have the stink of this on us. But comic book fans they're like it's the same book.
yeah.
It's the same book, it's the same creative, it's the same thing. You're doing the same thing, you're just slapping a new wrapper on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, and then like it's just like the saying says, the epitome of futility is to continue to do the same thing and expect different results.
Yep.
So, I mean, I can't say that I'm happy that Vertigo's getting shelved, but I can honestly say that I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
Because it was not launched in the same spirit as the original. The spirit of the original was these are titles that don't fit under our regular DC superhero comics, but their creators are amazingly talented and they are pushing amazing stories. The new Vertigo was, let's take all this controversial stuff, regardless of whether it's any good, and we'll launch it under Vertigo. Because that's what Vertigo is. Vertigo is controversy. No, Vertigo was unbridled creativity.
Yeah.
There's a vast difference in it. And so, like I said, I'm not happy that Vertigo's being canceled. Like I said, I'm not one of those people that is happy when things die or when people get fired. But I can't say I'm surprised at all. So it'll be interesting to see what happens going forward. DC has not officially announced that they're closing Vertigo down. It may be that they're just going to restructure it and try to keep the Vertigo brand going somehow. But at this point, I think it's like trying to prop up a corpse. It's like trying to trot out someone famous to sign something when they're obviously done.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, but yeah, it was nice. Well, it was nice while it lasted.
Good memories.
So on to something more interesting, or at least not as depressing. So some Avengers Endgame concept art came out depicting the Eternals, and the theory is that this may be what we're going to see in the Eternals movie, because according to the Eternals movie, the information that we've gotten, it's going to be set in the past. It's going to be set thousands of years in the past. And this is a picture of some of that concept art. This is Thanos when he was younger.
Oh, baby Thanos.
Yeah. And this is apparently his family. Now, this is interesting because they look nothing like their comic book counterparts. Nothing. Even the more recent updated versions, there was I think it was in 2016, there was a Thanos miniseries that was done depicting his youth and his eventual how he eventually became who he was. This looks nothing like them. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not digging these robes. It's very bland. Mm-hmm. But this is supposed to be his brother Arrow, so this looks like a little girl. Although at that age it'd be, hey. Yeah. But Arrows, the thing about Arrows, aka Star Fox, is he's supposed to be a really, really good looking guy. Like, he's literally called Star Fox. And his ability, he was literally called Eros. So like the god of love, mm-hmm. But I'm not liking this. Me personally, I'm just not digging this because it doesn't have that really cool like flavor that the Eternals had. Yeah. It's
well, I also have a question here. If they're going to do a movie, from back in the day about the Eternals, and it's going to be showing how Thanos got to where he is, it's got to step away from the comic book because the Thanos in the movie and the Thanos in the comic book have completely different motivations.
Yeah. But I mean, it's like, and not only that, but like, yeah, see, like this is kind of like what his father looked like. And then this is what his mother looked like. It's like they took, and it actually says this in this article, it's like they took the hairdo from his dad and put it on his mom. And then he just shaved his dad's head. But one of the things, like I'm seeing, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm looking at the Phase 4 from Marvel, and I'm kind of thinking it's not gonna be great, because I'm looking at the stuff that they're announcing and the people that they're putting in charge of these movies. Now, let me make this very clear. I may be completely wrong, but for instance, the person who's going to direct this movie is this woman named Chloe Zhao. She's done nothing. She did like a couple of short films, and then a couple of like those indie dramatic films that just, it's kind of like what was it, South Park, when they made fun of it. It was like gay cowboys eating pudding. It's kind of that kind of stuff, and I'm like, you're gonna give her a huge, sprawling superhero epic film? You know how it's almost, I don't know if you could set somebody up to fail any better than that, than to give them something that isn't in their wheelhouse, that's something that they've never done before. These kinds of movies, these sprawling epic films like this, those are hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to have some amazing vision and understand, and not only that, but understanding of the source material that you're dealing with and things, to be able to do films like this. Like, one of the reasons why the Marvel films have, almost all of them have been largely well done, is because the people that they put in charge of them, they understand how these big sprawling epics are,
and they're fans of the source material.
Yeah, and most of them are fans of the source material. The few people that weren't fans of the source material, it showed. So, okay.
Yeah.
I'm getting alerts and stuff. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, everything that I'm hearing about Eternals, every time I hear news about Eternals, I go, okay. Hopefully it doesn't suck. But I don't know, man. I mean, it doesn't seem like the driving force behind Marvel is really, I don't know. It doesn't see, Kevin Feige doesn't seem like he's really all that on board anymore. Just some of the things he said and everything, it's just, I don't know. I mean, before it was like, you had a pretty strong creative voice on which direction they wanted to go. But now it just kind of feels like they're feeling everything out again. So, I mean, again, like I said, I'm not hoping for this to fail. I don't do that, but I don't have a whole lot of hope for this film in particular. But on to a film that I do have some hope for. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Woo-hoo.
So have you watched any of this trailer, Ben?
I know I've seen a trailer for it. Waiting for it to come up here because we're on a delay. But and we do have somebody watching.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for being here. But so when I first heard that they were going to do these movies based off of those books, by the way, the books that these are based off of, they are not like everyone's like, oh, it's another Goosebumps. No. No. These are real scary stories to tell in the dark. In fact, I remember the covers for those books were really controversial because they were messed up. They were dark. I mean, like, check this out. Stories to Tell in the Dark. Let's see if we get some pictures of the actual books that they're based on. Yeah, look at this.
Oh, yeah, those are creepy.
This is the kind of, these are images from the books. Guys, seriously, this is the kind of stuff that was in those. Oh my God, that's such a messed up story.
Oh, the spiders.
That story's in the movie too. And
Nice.
yeah, it's dude. So I'm gonna scrub through this to see some of the yeah, like see if we can get a good look at the Scarecrow's face. The Scarecrow's face is okay. That's creepy.
Yep.
All right, and so let me see. But as we're going through, and it's Lionsgate, so that kind of makes explains a little bit, but why it's so dark. But here's the thing: this movie's being done by Guillermo del Toro.
Oh.
So he's a dude that whether you're a big fan of his work or not, he doesn't shy away from scary and messed up.
Yeah.
So this kind of takes the like I said, like the Goosebumps story, and it's like, okay, this is what would happen if they did that, but it was really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is freaking awesome.
Yeah, we're not going to sugarcoat this. There's not going to be a happy ending.
Yeah, it's dude. Like, let's see. I think they show some more of the monsters here. Yeah. Yep. See, and this is the kind of stuff that we're gonna get in this movie. So
He didn't close that door very tight.
I was see, there's the red spot.
Red spot.
Oh my god, dude. But and then where's they show the one. That one is creepy.
Yeah.
That one was the one. That's the story that's the one story Jim and I used to talk about these. Like, that one was like just messed up. But and then there's the spiders. But and then there's the long man. Yep. That's gonna be awesome, dude.
Yep. When's this coming out?
I think it's coming out. I have to double check. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I think it's coming out right around Halloween time.
Oh, that makes sense.
Tell in the Dark. August 9th.
Really?
So, yeah. So it's actually a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Well, a lot further from Halloween. So if a scary movie is coming out not around Halloween, that's usually a pretty good sign.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Guillermo del Toro, and I mean, I saw this because, like I said, when I first saw that they were going to make a movie of this, I was like, oh god, they're going to mess this up. They're going to screw this up so bad. What is the rating on this? Well,
if it's rated yet, but it should probably be R.
It's not going to be R, dude. It's going to be PG-13. I can almost guarantee you it'll be PG-13. They don't want to, because they're going to try and milk this thing for everything they can possibly get for it. Let me see. Rating. It's not rated yet. Appears like it's not rated yet. So,
yeah.
Dude, if they did this thing and it was rated R, rating. What is it? The anticipated rating is PG-13. So that's kind of what I figured. Because it is still technically children's stories, even though it's messed up children's stories. But yeah, I'm thinking it'll end up being PG-13. If it was rated R, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, go back and read the original like Grimm fairy tales and
yeah, that's exactly the people who wrote these Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. The people who put those books together, that's exactly what they wanted to do. This is like they wanted to go back to that idea.
Mm-hmm.
So like people they see this and go, oh, it's another Goosebumps. Nope, don't. And if you have if you have small children, this is not for them. So
this for your early teens, like PG-13.
Yep, it's not a good thing. But I saw this trailer and I was very pleasantly surprised. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. Jim would have loved this.
Yeah.
But speaking of movies that we went and saw, once more, we're going to talk about this. We went and saw Godzilla.
Although before starting Godzilla,
What's up?
well, sort of starting on Godzilla, I got to bring up what I forgot last week.
Okay.
Which is last week I went to go see the 5, 6, 7, 8s.
Oh, yeah. You want to explain to people who that is?
Yeah, they are a surf psychobilly band from Japan, all female. And if you've seen Kill Bill, they're the band that's playing
in the club.
Yeah, in the club when she's killing all
these guys,
Yakuza guys. So that's the band that's playing. It's a real band. They've been around since I think 90, 91 or 92.
Wow.
But yeah, I finally got to go see them because I think this is only the second or third time they've toured the U.S. But yeah, I got to see them. They were really great. And to tie it in with Godzilla, they do a Mothra song. So there's the tie-in. It was great. If they come near you, go see them. Their English may be weak, but their energy and yeah, they're awesome.
Cool. Yeah, I when you told me you went to, I was like, why does that sound familiar? And then you said Kill Bill. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, the song that gets stuck in your head through the rest of the freaking movie. But yep. Yeah, so speaking of Godzilla, we went and saw Godzilla. We did a review on that, which is on this channel. You can check that out. Just to recap it was freaking awesome.
Oh yeah.
God, the exactly what I wanted from a Godzilla film. Just
first Godzilla movie. I mean, it was okay, but you know, kind of slow. Kind of they cut fight scenes in the wrong places. Most of the fight scenes were dark. This one, awesome.
Yeah, like
this is what you pay to go see at a Godzilla or any kaiju movie.
Yeah,
you're going to see big monsters, and they got big monsters in this by the dozen.
Yep, we said we want more Godzilla, and they said, "Oh, you want more Godzilla? Here you go. You're gonna give you all the Godzilla you can handle."
Oh, you like that? We got some more here. Got a little bit more. We got Godzilla as the main course, Godzilla on the side, Godzilla's dessert.
Also, was in Tom and I were talking. Check out the Black Nerds review.
Oh yeah, it was
so awesome. Freaking funny. And the line that he used, that Rodan is the Starscream of the Monsterverse. That is going to be that's one of my favorite new lines now. It was awesome.
He nailed it. He is.
Yes, he is absolutely the Starscream of the Monsterverse. So
who's winning? Who? I'm on your side.
Yeah,
I'm on your side.
But interestingly enough, the numbers came out for Godzilla, and it did win. It did win the weekend, but just barely. It made a grand total of $49 million for the weekend, which is not terrible. But for a film, I think it cost, it was like $170 million. Yeah. Yeah, and right now, after Monday's gross, it's 51 million. That's not good. Now, worldwide, it did a little better. It did 130 million worldwide, which puts its total at 181 million. But that's still not good. For this movie to pretty much break even, it's got to make about $500 million.
Well, they're going to get another 1180 out or 1120 out of me. So
okay, yeah, it's
because I'm going to go see it again.
Yeah, it was, and it's sad because one, I think part of the reason why it was low is because the critics panned it.
Yeah.
Like if you go on, let me check Metacritic. I know on Rotten Tomatoes it was like 39%. Metacritic, let's see what they put it at. Godzilla, yeah, 48 on Metacritic. Metacritic's usually a little bit better than
Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. But the user, again, here's the user score. Look at the user score. Positive 238, negative 4, mixed 40, negative 30. For the critics, positive 14, mixed 23, negative 8. If there's ever been a disconnect between what the fans want and what critics want, this movie is a good indication of it.
Like, well, I mean, this is a kaiju movie, and that's one of those things. Critics, unless you're a fan of kaiju movies, and even if you're a professional movie critic, you can blow holes in this. This is not a quote good movie, unquote. It's a great freaking kaiju movie, is what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, the actors are all good. They say their lines that they need to say to move along the plot to get to the next fight, which is what they needed to do. And they do it, and then you see monsters fighting, and you're going to a Godzilla movie. You're either going to see monsters fighting or just Godzilla crushing stuff. That's what you're going for. And we got that. So
but yeah, like, and even in the review that we did, we said if you're not a kaiju fan, you're probably going to have some issues with the movie.
Yeah,
because like I said, the dialogue is not great. The human story is you're done with it in 15 minutes. You don't want to see any more of it because the whole thing centers around this one family, and none of them are likable. But that aside, one of the other problems I think is the day that they released it, because it released up against Rocket Man, which is the big Elton John biopic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming off of the
which, considering they opened up against that, I think that to beat that one, to beat Rocket Man, I think that was a good.
Well, it shattered Rocket Man, but it also opened against week 2 of Aladdin.
Yeah.
And Aladdin is blowing it up. So Aladdin, in its second week, made almost as much. It made 42 million. And Aladdin at this moment in time has made almost half a billion dollars already. So I mean, it's the Disney train. And domestically, it's already made almost 200 million. So,
and hi, Franklin Barrett.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, everybody that shows up here, guys. I'm sorry, because I'm doing the screen share thing. If I go to the chat, if I go to the actual broadcast and chat, it just creates like that window within a window within
that
thing.
The
so
infinity.
If I was smart, I would pull it up on my smartphone like I said I was going to. But I'm not, so I'm dumb. But yeah, and it's the Disney juggernaut, man. It just keeps going and going and going. But the fact that it was able, Disney juggernaut, man, it just keeps going and going and going. Oh, we don't know who that guy is, but he sounds awesome. Frank's here too, man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and the fact that it opened up against 2 movies that were that strong, because I think Rocket Man pulled in like almost 30 million. Yeah, 25 million. So if Godzilla was the only big movie playing, if they had released it on a slower week,
it would have done a lot better.
It probably would have done. It could have done upwards of twice what it did. But because it didn't, now I have to feel this is going to call into question the future of this Monsterverse. Because we know we're getting at least one more.
Yeah.
We know we're getting Kong Skull. We're getting the Godzilla versus Kong. Which, by the way, there was something I found out about the movie that I didn't realize, but I thought was really cool. But this, I have to think that if this movie doesn't pull in at least $500 million worldwide, I have to think that any future films after Kong, Godzilla vs. Kong, would probably be in jeopardy.
So everybody go see Godzilla.
Yeah, yeah.
Go see it now.
If you're a fan of those old movies, or if you're a fan of, like, say, Pacific Rim,
Yep.
go check it out, dude. It's awesome. It really is. But yeah, the Easter egg thing that I was going to tell you about. All right, so screw Aladdin. All right, so not Charles Dance. Who is it? Oh God. So there's a character. So one of the things I was wondering is if there were going to be any characters from Kong Skull Island in Godzilla King of the Monsters, and it turns out there was one. There is. It's very brief and it's very quick. And now that Ken Watanabe is done, he might actually have a bigger part. But hang on, let me a second. Godzilla, King of the Monsters, cast. Well, that's the wrong thing to click on, Robert. There we go. King of the Monsters cast. Okay. And there he is. Joe Morton, which you guys probably know who this guy is. This actor. He's been in quite a few things, actually. He's a scientist. Remember when Zhang Ziyi's sister is at Mothra's cocoon site and Mothra wakes up? He's the scientist that's there. The character he plays, he's playing a character from Skull Island. He's playing, let's see here, Kong Skull Island character in Godzilla. Okay. And come on. Okay. He's playing the character that was originally played by he's Dr. Houston Brooks. He's playing the character that was originally played by Corey Hawkins in Kong Skull Island. Now, let me pull up a picture of him. This is Corey Hawkins. He played the young scientist dude in Kong Skull Island. If you remember that movie, he's this guy. The guy at the end, remember?
Mm-hmm. He's looking pretty good for like being 50 years on.
See, it was in the late 60s, early 70s. Yeah. You know what? We could chalk this up. Remember we were talking about the movie has like the Empire Strikes Back sense of time.
Yeah. He just fell through one of the time holes. And
He just kind of fell through one of the time holes. He aged up about 20 years and then he showed up. But I just thought that was cool. I just thought that was a little like,
working with monsters keeps you young.
Yeah.
Or dead, one of the two.
Yeah. But go away. But yeah, I thought that was cool. But yeah. So that was what we had today. That's what I had today. You got anything else done?
No, I got my little add-on that I wanted to do there. So about the 5, 6, 7, 8s.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, like I said, I knew this was going to be a little bit of a short show today because just it's been a rough.
Oh, now we're up to 3 watchers.
Oh, yeah. Everybody like that's what's been happening lately is everybody shows up to watch it in like the second half, like right at the end of the second half that we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So. But
the first couple went kind of long.
Yeah. But it's just, this was kind of a slow week, to be completely honest.
But Godzilla.
Oh God. Man, like I said, we could talk about that forever.
Oh yeah.
Just like if Frank was on here, man, he could talk about Star Wars forever. So, but so I'm going to wrap it up here. I do have another stream I'm doing here in about an hour where I'm playing the vampire game on Chester Busby's channel. Give me a second. I will actually put a link to that.
I'm going to have to check out on that.
You know what? If for nothing else, help me figure out what to do. Because
okay, well, talk about that for a minute. Then what do you?
Admittedly, hang on one second. Let me see here. Let me get it.
Well, first, what rule set are they using?
They're using the 20th anniversary rule set.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah. No. The original set.
Okay,
well,
so
original from 10 years ago.
The second edition.
Yeah. And yeah, so here's Chester's site. I'll go ahead and drop it in live events so that you can stop sharing. Paste.
Because I say if they were using the new rule set, you're on your own.
No, we're not using. They were going to try to use an element from the new rule set.
Yeah, there's some interesting things, but the mechanics on it are way too weird and complicated.
Yeah.
Because basically what it is the new rule set, when you use one of your powers, you may or may not, because you don't actually have a blood pool. It's actually kind of like in Mutants and Masterminds, where you don't actually have hit points. You just have a rating. And once you get below that, once you've missed enough, or once you miss a save by high enough, you go unconscious.
Yeah.
In this one, it's like, well, you just have a hunger rating, and every time you use a power, you roll. And as long as you keep rolling well, your hunger rating doesn't go up. But you botch it a couple times, and you're going to just murder the person standing next to you. So yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, but the way they work it's just too complicated, too weird. And if you do end up rolling too well, you get screwed anyway. So
yeah, there's my character right there, the Zero Plague. He's a hacker. But yeah, interesting enough, the whole game is basically we're all playing caitiffs.
Okay.
But and like I said, it's always a game system. It's a game system that I always loved the mythology of it.
Yeah.
The political aspects of it, and it might just because of the way it's always been run, or it's just me. More likely, it's just me. It just feels like it bogs the game down.
I'm trying to think of what was the one. There was a movie. There was one movie I just recently watched. Oh yeah, actually, John Wick.
Yeah,
John Wick is how you play vampire.
Yeah, that's how I would do it, man.
Because you're either that guy that is like, well, I'm a vampire, I'm just going to kill everything and serve and do everything with violence, or you really, really play vampire and you're the guy that runs the hotel and the concierge.
Yeah, and that's kind of actually what I'm trying to do with this character. I'm like, this dude is like completely not physical. Like he has almost no physical abilities at all. He's all influence and knowledge.
Yeah, and if you're playing vampire right, that character can carry on forever.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'll be playing this starting at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be going over there. Check it out. Hopefully, it's gonna pick up and we can get a little hopefully, I'm not gonna screw it up, because I'll be honest with you, I'm not the best role player of all time. But hey, check it out. If you like it, sub to the channel, sub to my channel, for God's sake, please God.
You've got the link in your channel, so okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so we'll be going there. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got today, man. You got anything to add, or?
Nope, I'm good. I might have to check you out, because I really love playing vampire, both live action and tabletop.
Mm-hmm.
They're both awesome. So yeah, I'll check it out. See,
cool.
Maybe give you some pointers if I can.
Oh, please, thank you. All right. Well, okay, so that's our show for today. I want to thank all the people who did show up today. Greatly appreciate it, as always.
Anybody that listens during the week also.
Yep, everybody that listens later. We appreciate it. You can always find us right here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like what you saw today, please hit like and subscribe to help the channel. Leave a comment below. Give us some suggestions. Even some be critical if you want. It's all greatly appreciated. But till next week, I'm Comic Book Bob.
I'm Tom.
And we will see you next week. Take care.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.